Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're taking a look at Where the Crawdads Sing, the best-selling novel by Delia Owens.
It's such a great book.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, it's one thing to just, write a story. But Owens, she brings something special to this, don't you think?
Absolutely. Her background is what makes this so captivating. She spent years as a wildlife scientist, actually in Africa, and wrote three nonfiction books about her experiences.
Yeah,
It's almost like she's bringing, the heart of a scientist to the soul of a storyteller. It's
It's a great
a
combination.
really interesting mix.
That's really what makes this setting of this book, so powerful, right?
Yeah.
The way Owens just paints this picture of the marshes of North Carolina is just so incredibly vivid.
Mm-hmm.
You can just feel the humid air and hear the marsh grasses rustling as you read.
It's not just a backdrop, though, the marsh. It's practically a character itself in this book. And it really shapes the entire life of Kaya, our main character,
Yeah.
who's, abandoned by her family and grows up alone in this, wild and kind of unforgiving environment.
It's a tough childhood.
Very tough.
You almost wonder how a young girl could not survive but thrive in a place like that.
Yeah.
She's out there collecting mussels to eat, trading smoked fish. She even outsmarts this grumpy shopkeeper to get the supplies that she needs.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part. Kaya's resourcefulness is, I think it's remarkable.
Yeah.
It makes you think about all the different ways that people learn and adapt,
Yeah.
Is she driven by, pure survival instinct, or is there this deeper connection with the marsh itself, is it teaching her how to live?
Almost like she has a secret language with the marsh, right?
Yeah.
You definitely see that in the way that she observes nature.
Yeah.
There's this one scene that I always think about.
Oh, yeah.
It's where she describes these female fireflies
Oh, yeah.
that lure in and devour the males of a different species. Brutal.
It's beautiful and brutal, all at the same time.
It's fascinating, right? Because it reminds you that nature doesn't play by our rules.
That's right.
And it makes you wonder, is Owens foreshadowing something about, the complexities of human relationships with that scene, too?
Oh, I like that. Good point. Speaking of complex relationships, this book, it isn't just about surviving in the wilderness. It's a mystery, too.
A good one.
We've got this handsome young man, Chase Sanders, who turns up dead,
Of course.
and suspicion immediately falls on Kaya, who everyone in town calls the Marsh Girl.
Right. It's clever how Owens sets up this whole mystery because there is very little physical evidence actually linking Kaya to the crime scene.
Yeah.
There's no footprints. There's a missing shell necklace. It keeps you guessing. Is she being unfairly targeted because she is different? Or, is there something darker maybe lurking beneath the surface?
It really makes you think about how quickly people just jump to conclusions based on appearances.
Kaya, she doesn't really fit in with the rest of the town.
Not really, no.
But then you have these characters like Tate who really change things.
Oh, Tate.
Yeah, he's this really kind-hearted boy
Yeah, he's great.
who befriends her,
Befriends her, yeah.
teaches her how to read.
Yeah.
He sees this side of her that so many others just miss.
It's true. Tate's relationship with Kaya adds a whole other layer to the story, too. There's just a certain sweetness to their connection, the sense of, shared wonder and understanding.
Yeah.
But it's like the marsh itself.
Yeah.
Their relationship is full of these hidden currents and unexpected turns.
You never know what's going to happen.
Never know. And, it's not just romantic love, right?
Right.
This book also explores, the complicated dynamic between Kaya and her family.
Yes.
Why did they leave her? Will they ever come back? These questions kind of linger in the background and add this whole other level of intrigue to the story.
For sure.
It's a reminder that even in a place as isolated as the marsh, human connection and its complexities, it's inescapable.
It really is.
And I think it makes you, as a reader, wonder, will Kaya find true sense of belonging, anywhere?
It's a good question.
It's a good question. It is.
We're just scratching the surface here, but hopefully we've made you a little bit curious about this book.
A little bit, yeah.
Trust me, Where the Crawdads Sing is one of those books that will stick with you long after you finish it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's a story that unfolds like the marsh itself,
That's good.
full of beauty and danger and secrets just waiting to be uncovered.
Ooh, I like that.
And we're going to dive deeper into those secrets in just a bit.
Yeah, we are.
But first, we want to hear from you. What has caught your attention so far? What about Kaya's story stands out to you?
It's fascinating how Kaya kind of navigates that that social landscape of the town.
Yeah.
She's such an intriguing mix of vulnerability and strength.
Right.
She's had to rely on herself, but she still yearns for connection. It's true. Like, she's got this invisible wall around her almost.
Mm-hmm.
You see it, like, especially when she interacts with Jumpin' and Mabel.
Oh, yeah.
The couple that runs that gas and bait shop on the wharf.
Right.
They're kind to her.
Yeah.
But even with them, she keeps her distance.
She does. You know what makes those, like, small moments of human connection so powerful, though?
Yeah?
Like, when Mabel gives Kaya that pretty hair barrette, it's not just a gift, it's this symbol of acceptance, you know?
It is.
It shows that even in this judgmental town, somebody sees her as a young woman, not just the Marsh Girl.
It's so true. And Jumpin', he's the one who encourages her to find new ways to make a living, too. Like, he suggests she sell her shell collection to a local shop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's like a surrogate father figure in a way.
Yeah.
Guiding her toward a life that's beyond just survival.
It's true. All these, like, little acts of kindness, they're like beacons of light in her isolated world. It makes you think about the impact, like, even the smallest gestures can have. Especially for someone who's been, kind of deprived of love and support,
Right,
like
yeah.
basic human needs.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it also highlights this key theme that runs throughout the book.
Yeah.
This, like, tension between Kaya's yearning for connection and her fear of being hurt or abandoned again.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a delicate dance.
Yeah.
And Owens, she captures it so beautifully.
She does. And that conflict plays out. I mean, it plays out in her relationships with both Tate and Chase.
Yeah.
Tate represents, this gentler kind of love, this mutual respect and understanding. And then there's Chase, right?
Oh, Chase.
Who embodies this more, dangerous kind of attraction.
Right.
He's charming, but he's reckless too.
Yeah, and ultimately unreliable.
Totally unreliable.
Yeah.
It's like she's drawn to the fire even though she knows it could burn her.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what makes the mystery around Chase's death so compelling. Did their relationship kind of turn toxic? Did she finally break free from his hold? Owens cleverly leaves these little breadcrumbs throughout the story, but she never gives too much away.
It's true. It keeps you guessing.
Yeah. And then there's the whole courtroom drama.
Oh, yeah?
Kaya, who has lived, most of her life alone in the marsh.
Yeah.
Suddenly she's thrust into this, like, formal and very unfamiliar world of judges and juries.
That's the big shift.
Huge contrast. And Owens uses it to explore, I think, some pretty important themes. The trial becomes this, like, microcosm of the societal prejudices that Kaya has faced her whole life.
Yeah.
And even though there's no hard evidence connecting her to the crime, her way of life, her connection to, like, the wild, it becomes the evidence against her.
That's so true.
It's really interesting.
It makes you think about how easily we judge others based on their differences, their otherness,
Yeah.
And it raises questions, too, about whether the legal system can truly deliver justice, like actual justice, for people who just don't fit in.
That's a really, really great point. It adds, like, another layer of depth to this already complex story.
It does. And we've talked a lot about the darker elements of the book.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember where the Crawdads sing, it's also filled with moments of beauty and wonder.
Oh, absolutely. Owen's descriptions of the marsh.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Breathtaking. She captures the subtle shifts in light, the sounds of the wind, like, whispering through the grasses.
Yeah.
The intricate details of all the plants and creatures that call it home.
It's like you're there.
You are there.
Yeah.
You are in the marsh with her.
It's like she's inviting you to experience it through Kaya's senses,
Absolutely.
And you can almost smell the salt air and feel that mud squishing between your toes.
Yeah.
It's great. And there's this certain poetry to the way that Owens connects the natural world to Kaya's emotional journey, too.
Yeah, I love that.
Like, the marsh becomes this source of solace and strength for her.
It does.
The place where she can just be herself without judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to give too much away.
No spoiler.
But we will say the ending, it's both surprising and deeply satisfying.
Yeah.
It leaves you with a sense of hope and a reminder that even when facing adversity, the human spirit can endure.
Absolutely. And it leaves you with a lot to think about: the power of nature, the resilience of the human spirit, and the complexities of justice and forgiveness.
It really does. So we've kind of delved into the mystery, the courtroom drama, and the absolutely stunning natural world of Where the Crawdads Sing. But there's this one final piece of the puzzle we need to explore.
Oh,
The heart of Kaya's story. We've talked about the mystery surrounding Chase's death and touched on those social dynamics of the town. But I think at its core, where the Crawdads Sing is a story about resilience and the search for belonging.
it's so fascinating how Owens uses the natural world as this metaphor for Kaya's internal struggles.
Yeah.
The marsh with its harsh beauty and this constant cycle of life and death, becomes this reflection of her own journey.
Yeah, it's like the marsh is both a mirror and a teacher to her.
It is.
She learns about survival, adaptation, and even love just by observing all the creatures that are around her.
Yeah.
Do you remember those scenes where she was like so meticulously documenting the mating rituals of the birds or the intricate patterns of seashells?
Oh, yeah, those are great. And those observations are so much more than scientific curiosity.
Right.
It's how she makes sense of the human world,
Yeah.
a world that has often felt very confusing and cruel to her.
Yeah.
She's looking for patterns and meaning in a life that, up to this point, has often felt very chaotic.
And it's really through that connection to nature that Kaya ultimately finds her own voice. She starts writing poetry and she starts capturing the essence of the marsh with her words. It's like she's finally found a way to express all those emotions that she's like bottled up inside for so long.
That transformation is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's like the marsh itself is giving her the language to tell her story.
Yeah.
You know, a story that goes beyond all the labels and the judgments of the town. It allows her to define herself finally on her own terms.
And that's what makes this book, Where the Crawdads Sing, such a captivating read.
Oh, for sure.
It's a reminder that even in the most isolated of circumstances, we all have a story to tell and a unique perspective to share.
I love that. And sometimes the most extraordinary stories come from the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
From the people who have learned to listen to those whispers of the wild and find beauty in these untamed corners of the world.
That's so true. So if you're looking for a book that will transport you, challenge you, and stay with you long after you finish that last page, we highly recommend Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh, definitely.
It's a story that celebrates the power of nature, the resilience of the human spirit, and the enduring search for connection in a world that often tries to divide us.
So well said.
We hope this deep dive has given you a little taste of the richness and the depth of this extraordinary novel. Now it's your turn, too, to explore the world of Where the Crawdads Sing and discover its secrets for yourself. Happy reading.